Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you very much for being here at this Tea Party Express rally at Elmwood Park. God bless you for being here. We're going to start today in the most fitting way we know how. I'd like to introduce Diana Nagy, who is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem.
Hello, Omaha. It is great to be here. We are so happy to be back here in Nebraska. We love it here. I feel like I have roots here. My mom was born here, so I feel like I'm one of you, and thank you for welcoming us back. Actually, we're all a part of one another as we stand for America. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Diana Nagy. That is beautiful. My name is Scott Voorhees. I host a radio program here on News Radio 1110 KFAB, and how appropriate. We are gathered here today on May Day, where across the country members of the Occupy Wall Street movement are flexing their patriotic muscle by shutting down traffic, by shutting down business, by shutting down commerce and freedom across our country. These patchouli-wearing, mouth-breathing, scabies-laden, tent pup sleeping, police car defecating idiots are out there ruining America today. And I read a statistic this morning that said that about roughly 75% of Americans can't do things like name one of their senators. They can't name their governor. They don't know how many people are on the U.S. Supreme Court. They don't know how many congressmen represent their district, represent their state. About 75% of Americans don't know these things. Well, I guarantee these 99%ers out there of the Occupy movement, I guarantee they're among the 75% who don't know what in the world they're talking about. I'm thankful that you guys here with the Tea Party Express are here flexing your American muscle to come here, be educated, listen to the great speakers and entertainers we have for you this evening, and come out here and be educated about things like the Constitution and this representative republic we enjoy in the United States of America. So thank you very much for being here tonight and not out there on Dodge Street causing trouble and blocking traffic. So thank you very much for being here. We want to welcome the chairperson of the Tea Party Express, Amy Kramer.
Sorry. Sorry. Hello, Omaha. My allergies are bothering me. I apologize. Thank you so much for coming out and being here today, this afternoon with Tea Party Express. We're excited to be in the great state of Nebraska on our 6th bus tour across the country, where we are focused on the United States Senate and taking that gavel out of Harry Reid's hands. Are you all with us? You know, there's no one that has caused more gridlock in Washington than Harry Reid. The media and the Democrats want to blame it all on the Republicans, all on the conservatives, and all on the Tea Party Republicans. But time and time again, the House has passed legislation and sent it to the Senate, and Harry Reid has decided he knows what's best for all of us, so he doesn't bring it to the floor for an up or down vote. He doesn't even bring it to the floor for debate. Instead, he tables it. Sunday marked the 3rd anniversary of the last time the Senate passed a budget under Harry Reid's failed leadership. 3 years since the Senate has passed a budget. That's not acceptable. The United States Senate is not doing the business of the people. They're doing no business. They're sitting on legislation, and that's not acceptable. And that's exactly why the Tea Party Express is focused on the United States Senate, because regardless of who our next president is, we need to be in control of the Senate and in control of the House. We need to put the power back in the hands of the people, back in the hands of the state where it belongs, the states. Washington is the problem. Washington is not the answer, and they need to get out of our lives. We need people in Washington that truly represent us, that are working for us, people that are working to balance a budget, to rein in the spending, to repeal Obamacare fully and completely, rip it out by the roots, and work for an energy independent America. That's what we need. We cannot continue down this path. We cannot handle 4 more years of President Obama and Harry Reid. We simply can't. Last summer, when they wanted to raise the debt ceiling, what were they saying? We have to raise the debt ceiling because if we don't, America's credit rating is going to be downgraded. Well, what happened? They raised the debt ceiling and it was still downgraded. The bottom line is the spending has to stop. And President Obama, his answer is tax, 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 and tax some more. And we all know your neighbor here, Warren Buffett, he wants to pay more taxes too, but I haven't seen him get out his checkbook and write a check to the IRS and just send it. No. At some point, you have to stop the spending. You cannot raise enough taxes to cover all of the spending. Stop the spending. They're in Washington with our credit card just charging, and putting that debt on the backs of our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all future generations. And they're not going to stop unless we stand up and stop them. And now is the time we have to do that. This is the most important election of our lifetime. If we do not elect a new president and take control of that Senate, we are headed towards socialism. And we all heard President Obama say it last election cycle when Joe the plumber asked him, "Do you want to redistribute the wealth?" And he said yes. Well, that is socialism. And Margaret Thatcher once said, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. Washington needs to get out of the way. Washington needs to stop spending our money because it is our money. Washington doesn't have any money. Washington collects our money. And we are the only ones that are going to stop it. And that's what Tea Party Express is focused on. To truly effect change, you have to change the players. The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And that's exactly why Tea Party Express has engaged in elections. We are a PAC, a political action committee, and we are focused on changing the players and sending fiscal conservatives to Washington, D.C. Just because you're Republican does not mean you are conservative, and we've seen that time and time again. We've endorsed in 6 Senate races. That's all we've endorsed in. We have not engaged in any congressional campaigns or presidential. We're focused on the United States Senate, and here in Nebraska, this is a seat that we need to take back. This is a seat that we can take back and take that gavel out of Harry Reid's hands, and that's exactly why we have endorsed Attorney General John Bruning for Senate in Nebraska. We've seen him. He's a conservative, a fighter who has led the way with other attorneys general fighting Obamacare. He's gone up and he's sued the EPA, fought back against the EPA. We need a fighter. We need somebody who's willing to stand for the people and fight for what is right for the people of Nebraska and the people across America. And that's why we stand strongly with Attorney General John Bruning, and we are supporting him. And I know he is going to be victorious 2 weeks from today when he wins a primary here in Nebraska. And he can do this with our help and with your help. And I'm going to bring him up because he doesn't need an introduction. You know who he is. He's fought for Nebraskans. But he needs your help. We need your help because it's going to take all of us. And it's not pretty. And what you're seeing right now, it's going to be nothing compared to the general election, because let me tell you something. If the Democrats cannot win it fair and square, they will steal it. And we've seen it time and time again with voter fraud. You guys need to engage. You need to engage now. You cannot wait till 2 weeks before the general election. He needs your help. We need your help. I want you all to go out and volunteer for his campaign over the next 2 weeks. Donate your dollars. Get involved, because we need to win this primary. He is the only one that can win this seat in Nebraska in November. And so right now, I want to bring him up. And like I said, you don't need an introduction. But I'm proud to stand with Attorney General John Bruning for Senate.
Well, I am so honored to be here today and be endorsed by the Tea Party Express. God bless them, and God bless you for what you've done for this great country. We have a lot of change to make. The Tea Party has done something for this country that I was starting to worry couldn't be done. We're not now talking about whether we should cut. We're talking about how much government we should cut. I think here in Nebraska we get it. We got 2 visions for America. We got Barack Obama. We got Ben Nelson, we got Bob Kerrey, and they think more government is the answer. And then we got people like us, and we believe that less government is the answer. Get the government out of our business. Their signature accomplishment, Barack Obama and Ben Nelson, and Bob Kerrey thinks it doesn't go far enough, is Obamacare. Obamacare, they said it cost $900 billion when they started. Now the nonpartisan CBO says $1.7 trillion is what it's going to cost. This at a time when we have nearly $16 trillion in national debt. It's unimaginable. Those of you that risked your lives for this country, or your sons did, or your daughters did, it's an abomination that we stand at a precipice financially because we've spent ourselves into this kind of debt. We have to reduce the size and scope of government. We have to cut the budget. We have to make sure Obamacare is repealed or struck down by the Supreme Court. I was in the Supreme Court a month ago on your behalf. I watched those arguments. I sat in the courtroom for all 6 hours of it. It was over 3 days. I think it's one of the most important cases we've seen in a generation. Longest period of time the court's taken since basically the Miranda cases in the 60s. And the reason I think it's important is not just because it's bad policy, the government forcing us to purchase health care. You heard the justices of the Supreme Court say if they could force you to purchase health care, can they force you to join a gym? Can they force you to eat broccoli? Sounds ridiculous. I'd rather have a donut in the morning, thank you very much. What can they force you to do next? Can they force you to carry a cell phone in your car? How far can the government go? Can they track you while you're doing it? The federal government has gone too far. But I listened to a Supreme Court that I think got it. We were watching to see whether they got it. This isn't just about health care, you see. This is about the limits of the Constitution. The founders in this inspired document intended that the federal government have limited enumerated powers. Limited enumerated powers, you know what they are. It didn't intend that the federal government get involved in everything. But today you have a federal government that thinks they can be involved in everything. We need power to be returned to the states. In states, there's common sense. In this state, we balance our budget. When times get tough, we don't tax more. We tighten our belt. It's doable. We have a balanced budget amendment to our Constitution in Nebraska. It works. We have 4% unemployment. Our economy's not perfect, but it's a lot better than some states. We can do better. The federal government needs a balanced budget amendment to the federal Constitution. That's one way to keep Washington in order. I support a balanced budget amendment. In the end, I'm unhappy, just like you, about the direction of the federal government. But I'm also optimistic. This is the greatest country in the world today. This is the greatest country in the history of civilization. Some of you who risked your lives for this country have made it so. This country can be great. It is great. But we need to get ourselves back on track financially. We need to stop the spending. We need to stop the regulation. We need to put the federal government back in its box where it's not putting our economy at risk every day with its out-of-control spending. I'm here to humbly ask for your vote. I'm grateful for the Tea Party Express's endorsement. They endorse me because we stand for the same things. Less government, less regulation, reduce taxes. That's what we need to do in this country, give power back to the people. This country's not great because of the government, people in Washington, D.C. It's great because of the people that are here, that'll fight and die for this country. We can get ourselves back on track. You send me to Washington, I promise you, I'll be one to reduce the size and scope of government. I'll make you proud. Thank you very much.
We had a report on 1110 KFAB today that said of the top 100 Fortune 100 companies, 71 got back to Fox News and said, we're going to save millions of dollars individually. Each company is going to save millions of dollars on this affordable health care plan, the Obamacare plan. And they're going to save all the money by dropping you from your insurance ranks and just paying the government fine. So when President Obama was saying a few years ago, if you like your insurance, you like your doctor, we're not going to take it from you, you can keep it. He didn't know what he's talking about. These companies are going to drop you quick. You're going to lose the coverage you have right now. And judging by the waste and the problems with Medicare and Medicaid and veterans care in this country, I don't like that future. And I'm glad that John Bruning and other attorneys general across this country are working to stop this mandate from our government. I'm glad he's here this evening. I'd now like to welcome, yes, absolutely. Now I'd like to welcome the chairman of the PAC known as Our Country Deserves Better. I like the name of this group. Please welcome Howard Kalugian.
I'm the volunteer chair of the Political Action Committee for the Tea Party Express. I have a real job, actually. My job is with a place called Hillsdale College. Has anybody heard of America's School? Absolutely. If you haven't taken the Hillsdale College Constitution course yet, it's free. It's online. Go to hillsdale.edu and sign up for the Constitution course. You'll love it. You really will. But at college, we ask a lot of questions. So I have a few questions for all of you, and I'd like your answer to this question. Is our economy on the right track? Is America headed in the right direction? Can you take 4 more years of this? Will you be better off if Barack Obama is reelected? Well, maybe if you're looking for food stamps, you would. We explore all these questions on the radio every Monday night at 10 p.m. local time. You can hear us on teapartyexpress.org. We broadcast locally in San Diego, where I live, but over the internet on Tea Party Express Radio. Go to teapartyexpress.org, and you can hear us every Monday night, where we do things like review the record that Obama has. Now, let's talk about this record. The deficits are at an unprecedented level. We have higher debt than in any other time in human history. We've got millions of jobs that have been lost. Housing values are down. Gas prices are up. He socialized medicine, and we have a downgraded credit rating. First time ever in America's history, with the most anemic economic growth. In fact, Mexico and Canada are growing faster than America. Obama doesn't get it. Jobs come with growth, and the only thing he knows what to grow is the federal government. And he has the worst foreign policy since Jimmy Carter's first term. Did I leave anything out? Well, maybe there are more Americans on food stamps than ever before. What about his vision for the future? His vision is nothing but class warfare. Don't buy the lie that taking from those who earn something to give to those who don't somehow helps the poor. All it does is empowers government, grows government bigger, gives more power to bureaucrats, and indebts our children and grandchildren further. It doesn't help people. Well, in 2010, we voted out the big spenders from the House. Now in 2012, we're going to vote the big spenders out of the Senate, starting right here in Nebraska by electing John Bruning for the United States Senate. And if you're thinking that your candidate didn't win the Republican presidential nomination, and so maybe you won't vote, well, not voting is a vote for the status quo. Staying home says it's just fine for Obama to get reelected and the Democrats and the left-wing big spenders to continue their spending ways. So you've got to continue, not just standing here rallying. You have to take this to the vote. We can fix our country's problems. We can make a better America for our children, but we have to do it by getting organized and getting involved in our churches, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, and voting. Call into the radio station then at teapartyexpress.org and tell us of all the victories, because we give voice to the Tea Parties throughout the nation. And God bless the United States.
Yay, that's right. I just heard it over here. She's very excited. Future voter. Please welcome to our stage this evening, very smooth entertainer, the dulcet tones of Mr. Lloyd Marcus.
The dulcet tones. I like that. Hello, my fellow patriots. I am not an African American. I am Lloyd Marcus, American. And folks, I have to tell you, I find it so despicable the way the Obama administration is using the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case to spew racial hatred. It is evil. When Barack Obama said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon, that was specifically designed to make Black America angry. In my book, that's evil. And that's why I'm excited about voting these guys out and putting in good folks like John Bruning. And November is coming really soon. Are you ready for November, ma'am? I can't wait. Start spreading the news. I'm telling y'all today, we're taking back America in 2012. Thank you, ma'am. This socialist nightmare is gonna come to an end, 'cause we're gonna vote them out in 2012. I wanna wake up in my America where I can speak as I please, without acorn thugs breaking my knees. My Harry Reid blue will soon melt away. We're taking the House next to Senate in 2012. And when we crush them there, their agenda doesn't have a prayer, but it's up to you and you and you and you, ma'am, in 2012. Have y'all had enough of the Obama regime? Lord knows, so have I. I can't wait for 2012. I just wanna wake up in my America where I can still speak my mind. I want to find my freedom restored. Harry, read it out. No Obamacare. Yes, King Obama, he's gone. My Obama blues are melting away. Patriots, we're taking back our country. November 2012. Their socialist nonsense just doesn't have a prayer, but it's up to you and you and you and you in 2012. 2012. Yeah! Thank you, folks. God bless you. He's out of here, November.
He's not taking off that hat for anything. Please give it up for Lloyd Marcus, the author of the book Confessions of a Black Conservative. Each of the entertainers you're going to hear here tonight, they're all volunteers to this cause, but they also are entertainers, and they have CDs and books available here this evening. So if you have a chance to stop out underneath the tent, you can donate some money to those who are donating their time to this cause tonight. That would be appreciated. Up next, Michelle Malkin calls Mike Holler her brilliant friend and says his book, The Constitution Made Easy, belongs in every American family's home. Reagan's Attorney General, Ed Meese, who I had the privilege of talking with a few weeks ago, says that Mike has done us all a favor by explaining the Constitution in modern English. Please welcome the man we call Mr. Constitution, Mike Holler.
Thank you. I will not have time to read the Constitution or to teach it tonight. I have time only to say a few words about the importance of it, because there's no problem we face today in America, politically speaking, that was not caused or made worse by ignoring the United States Constitution, and I believe there is no problem we face that cannot be made better by returning to it. The future of the free world around the globe depends upon a free United States of America. Do you agree with that? The future of a free America depends upon our elected officials recognizing the principles of our founding and limited government and unlimited liberty as described in the United States Constitution. Do you agree with that? There are at least 535 elected officials in Congress, and then there's the Supreme Court and the President and his cabinet and all of his czars, who, most of them at least, take an oath, I'm not sure all the czars do, to take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. How are they doing so far? Terrible. In fact, I'm going to read part of the oath and ask you to help me with it. They say they solemnly swear they will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Help me here. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic, half of them are domestic enemies of the Constitution. How could they possibly defend it? So I have good news and bad news. The good news is there's someone left who still will defend the Constitution of the United States, and that is who? Us. First three words of the preamble. Who's going to do it? We, the people. The bad news. It's up to us. We actually have to do it. We actually have to defend the Constitution. To defend it, I believe, we've got to get it out of our pockets and into our minds so it'll come out our mouth right when we need it, so that we'll have the courage to face our legislators and our candidates and ask them if they understand the Constitution. Show them when they err. How many of you, I've got an easy question, softball. How many of you have a copy of the Constitution? See your hands? All right, great. Another question, this one's a little harder. I don't usually see very many hands. How many of you believe you understand it as well as you think you should? 2 in the back there, one over here. We got 3 in the crowd, 4. Now, if you don't understand it, if you don't know, if you can't pass a simple quiz, if you don't know how many articles are in it, if you don't know where the powers of Congress are granted, if you could not explain to your neighbor the principles of limited government, then you need to educate yourself. Howard Kalugian just mentioned Hillsdale College. They have a free online course on the Constitution. How many of you signed up for it? A few. I've got a book called The Constitution Made Easy, where we write the Constitution in modern English so that you can get your mind around it. It is up to you. You must do something. It is your civic, thank you, young man, it is your civic duty. I believe that your duty to know the Constitution is more fundamental than voting. I didn't say it could replace voting. I knew we need you to vote. But it's more fundamental. If you don't know the Constitution, how are you going to know who to vote for? It is more effective than fighting, more effective than debating, more effective than quarreling is knowledge. Knowledge of the Constitution. Now, folks, what's at risk? The future of the free world. The future of America. The freedom of our children and grandchildren. We don't want to wake up one day, as Reagan said, and try to explain to our children and grandchildren what it was like to live in America when men were free. Are we going to let that happen on our watch? If you could prevent it by something as simple as spending an hour studying the Constitution and an occasional conversation with a neighbor, are you willing to do that much to save freedom? Are you willing to do that much? Will you join me in the noble cause of restoring the Constitution to its rightful place as the supreme law of the land? Will you do that? Thank you. Thank you so much, because our children and their future depend on it. And God bless each of you.
I want you to take a look at a gentleman over here wearing kind of a gray and blue shirt. He's got a couple of Congressman Lee Terry stickers there on his shirt. That's Lee Terry Sr. Now, with such a handsome face as that, how could any son begatted from that man not be charismatic, energetic, in love with this country, and also damn good looking? Congressman Lee Terry, Nebraska 2nd District, everybody.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I don't know about the looks part, but I just came from my son's track meet, and I'll guarantee you has my genes. We'll just let it go that, okay? He did not win, but he's there doing it. But you know what? This is a great day. It's great weather, and we live in the greatest country in the history of the world. And we need to celebrate that. So here we are on May Day when occupiers are flexing their muscles and we're occupying democracy. You know what? When I went on the House floor a couple years ago, when all the bills were being run through, no committees, written in the White House and Speaker's office and rammed down our throats, and I went up and I said, you know what? democracy is messy. It's messy because the people have to be involved in the process. Dictatorships are easy. So which one do you want, America? Do you want the participation of the people being in charge, or do you want a dictatorship? And we made changes in 2010, and the people have been strengthened. But we need to change the culture that's evolving in Washington, D.C., getting away from the elements that made our country great. And what is that? Empowering people. Empowering people, not government. And when you think about America's greatness and how we became the most prosperous nation in the world, it wasn't because of the collective being cut down. It was because we trusted people and allowed them to maximize their talents. And by doing so, we created generations of entrepreneurs and risk takers because they wanted to do something great. And in today's world, you do something great, you succeed, you're not put up as a hero. You're cut down and told that you're being evil. Well, my friends, this is the election when we get to stand up for the people and our rights to succeed without government permission to do so. Now, if we all use our talents, this country will remain the greatest country in the history of the world for generations to come. And we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to use our own talents to make that happen this November? That's what this is about. So that's why I'm here asking you to do that. And by the way, we can do the right things in Washington, D.C. with your level of support. First thing, we got to quit spending money we don't have. $1 trillion or more a year added to the national debt that is mortgaging our children's future. Let's stop it, but we need your support to do that, and that's why you're here. If we eliminate deficit spending, balance the budget, and by the way, we had a vote on a balanced budget amendment. Nancy Pelosi lobbied the Democrats in Congress against it, and it failed on a party line vote. I don't understand why she did it, but she did. But that's what we're up against. Balance the budget. Quit spending the money we don't have. And then let's start growing our economy. How do we do that? Well, first of all, let the people succeed and they'll create revenues. Secondly, let's get rid of our tax code. Let's make it simple and fair. And by the way, I define fair maybe differently than others do. Because I think when a business in Omaha, Nebraska pays 35% corporate tax rate, and they're working and trying to create jobs all around this nation, and another company, because they're able to take advantage of special breaks in the tax code, pays zero, I don't think that's fair. So that's my fairness. Let's lower the tax rate where we can compete around the world, keep our jobs here. Boy, that seems sensible to me, but yet we've passed bills like that and budgets like that. We send it to Harry Reid in the Senate. What's that, crickets we hear? That's the song of the Senate today, is the sweet sound of the crickets chirping, because they ain't doing nothing over there to help America, folks. Now, flatten our tax code, make us competitive. And by the way, do you know a way that we could almost instantaneously create millions of jobs? Use our own natural resources to power our economy, folks. It's not a secret. Quit kowtowing to the extremists of the environmental movement that just want to flip the switch on our economy and hope that some metamorphosis occurs, but yet ignores the damage of the jobless claims. So, use our natural resources. And by the way, I'm on the Energy and Commerce Committee. I can show you the numbers. We have natural resources to be independent for at least 100 years with our own natural resources. I hear the president say we only have 2%, but that 2% used right and diversify our portfolio of fuels and use more natural gas. We can be independent for generations upon generations. And isn't it important that we control our own destiny, what we have, use our own energy, quit sending $1 billion a day overseas? You do all of those things. Empower the individual, quit the spending. Flatten our tax code or change the tax code so that we can compete globally, bring the money back that our companies earn overseas and let them invest it here. Rely on energy, use our own resources, create millions of jobs. I'll guarantee you we will be a prosperous nation, and you can have confidence once again that our children will have the same opportunities to succeed that we do today and we want for them. So God bless you and your efforts here today. Being here today is the first step to making sure that we're on the right path for our country. Bless you.
Tell you, this is fulfilling and rewarding. Thank you very much, Congressman Lee Terry. Now, we heard from our next entertainer earlier, and can you believe we have someone here at a Tea Party Express rally from San Francisco? How did that happen? Inspirational singer Diana Nagy was the first ever to perform the national anthem at a presidential candidate debate just last year. Singer, songwriter, recording artist from the San Francisco Bay Area. Please welcome back to the stage this evening, Miss Diana Nagy.
Thank you. What do you think about San Francisco? There are some bright, shining lights there. There is hope there. I'm here to prove that. I love America, and I know all of you do too, and we are proud of America, and we always have been. I will spend the rest of my life to fight for what she stands for our constitutional values, for what she's founded upon, for our founders and their sacrifices, for our troops and what they fought and died for, to keep God in this country. Are you with me, Nebraska? Are you with me? Then let's get it back on track. If you want to stand up and dance a little, put your hands together. Here we go. America, wake up, get back on track. Big government out, get our country back. They've spent our last dime, nothing left to borrow. Let's hand them all pink slips tomorrow. Come on, people, get us back on track. Come on, people, take our country back. We the people, we've got to be heard. United we stand, we're spreading the word. Oh, that's you, that's me. We can do it. You're going to do it now. It's time. Our hearts are on fire for the love of this land. A sleeping giant's been awakened again. Now's the time to answer the call. Return America to what our forefathers saw. Come on, people, get us back on track. Come on, people, take our country back. We the people, we've got to be heard. United we stand, we're spreading the word. Okay, Omaha, now's the time. Let's take our country back. One nation, say with me, under God. Are you ready? Let's go. Woo! All right, put them together. Here we go. Are we going to do it in 2012? Is it time? I can't hear you. We need to talk. We need to let them know that we're taking this country back. We're no way, no how. We're not taking it anymore. Color don't matter at all. We are proud to be Americans, one nation under God. Step up to the plate, don't need no socialist state. It's 2012, we're turning up the heat. It's 2012, we won't be beat. Yeah. Come on, people, get back on track. Come on, people, take our country back. We the people, we've got to be heard. United we stand, we're spreading the word. We the people, we've got to be heard. United we stand, we're spreading the word. Ba-ba-da-dee-dee-dee-da. Yeah! Getting it back on track. Thank you very much. We're all over here. Please come and say hello. After, I'd like to see you all and say hello and shake your hands. Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. Now, these Tea Party Express buses don't get where they're going, by divinity necessarily. Well, maybe a little bit, but with all the VIPs on these buses, there's one person who's most important, the guy who gets it where it needs to go. Please welcome Ray, the bus driver.
Woo! Wish I could jump around like that. I'm not even going to try. Hey, we're glad you're here today in Omaha. We're glad to be here. Brought these two beautiful buses to see you this afternoon. If you look at the map on the side of the bus, you see we've come a good ways and we got a long way to go. I don't know if you bought fuel lately, but last time we stopped it was $4.09 a gallon. 232 gallons per bus, you do the math. This doesn't just happen, and we need your help. So we're going to ask you to do whatever you can do today to help us keep your voice across America. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ray, the bus driver. All right. Up next, they've been on every tour of the Tea Party Express since the beginning of this rolling extravaganza. You've seen them on Huckabee. Their YouTube hit, Press One for English, has over 14 million views, and they love this country. You'll love them. Please welcome the Rivoli Review.
All right, thank you very much. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Folks, I am so proud to be here today and so happy to be in Omaha. We got a chance when we flew in to drive around your all's downtown. You all have a beautiful, beautiful place here. Very, very nice. Wonderful. I have a challenge for all of you folks. You see, I stand before you today and I proclaim myself a proud Christian American. And I believe we are one nation under God, whatever religious belief you might be. But I have a challenge for you. You see, how many churchgoers do I have out there? Let me see your hands out there, you churchgoers. Right. Do you all know that only 45% of our churchgoers do not vote? 20% of our church attendees are not even registered. If you're afraid to talk about politics and religion, you need to get a backbone and you need to start a discussion, because we have got to get to the polls if we want to keep the country we have. You see, we can't go back right now. We've already had this guy in office now for 3 years. We're going to have him for 4 before we have a chance to get him out of there. We can't go back, but we can march forward, and you all have to be part of the fight. And right now, here's a song we'd like to sing for you, just a reminder that we can't go Barack. Well, the car I drive's an Obama, my bank's an Obama too. I'm sitting in my Baracker, just watching this change in view. It's Hussein how things are going, all because of just one man. Why, he's been talking in Turkey, says we're not a Christian land. We can't go Barack, bak, 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 it's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein-ness and his spending trillions fate. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. Well, he says I ought to learn Spanish and I ought to give up my gun. I'll be living in a Hussein hospital before this man is done.
Now it's an abomination what's happening across this land. If we don't stop our spending, our end is close at hand. We can't go Barack, let me hear you, Barack, Barack, Barack. It's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein, this and his spending trillions fate. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. Stimulus, bailouts, cap and trade have us a mess. Cash for clunkers, Pelosi's jet. We have to start spending less. We must stop printing money or our dollar will deflate. And where do we file bankruptcy for the whole United States? We can't go Barack, 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 Barack. It's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein, this and his spending trillions fate. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. We can't go Barack, 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 Barack. It's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein, this and his spending trillions fate. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. How we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. We can't go Barack, 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 Barack. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Rivoli Review, everybody. That's beautiful. All right, our next guest here this evening. Every time you hear me on the radio quoting facts and figures and statistics around here in the metro area in Nebraska, I'm not coming up with that stuff. Someone much more intelligent than I is doing that. That's Doug Kagan with the Nebraska Taxpayers for Freedom.
Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to make one of my short speeches because I don't like to make long ones. Today is May 1st. Around the world today, there are a lot of socialists and communists celebrating their May Day, parading and chanting in the streets of Europe and elsewhere, exhorting their fellow citizens to join them in enjoying the fruits of socialism. Massive national debts, huge national deficits, spiraling unemployment, strikes and violence in the streets, and collapsing governments. Here in the U.S., their comrades in the Occupy movement, etc., watch with admiration and mimic their compatriots across the sea, conducting demonstrations and violent protests against American capitalism and our historic principles of representative government. The ranting you see on the streets of Europe is seeping onto the streets of America and onto the streets of Nebraska. A local example, proposed harassing the Berkshire Hathaway stockholders meeting this coming weekend. The socialist poison is spreading, and it requires an antidote, a political bulwark. And what is the antidote? The bulwark? Every person at this rally. The Tea Party movement. But in order for a bulwark to stand tall and withstand an assault, or an antidote to take effect, it takes a conscious and steadfast effort. So the question I want each of you to ask yourselves privately right now is this: am I doing my part to elect Tea Party conservatives to represent us in Washington, in Lincoln, Nebraska, and in my local community? I look out at the audience here and I see several of these candidates. And I wonder to myself, are these candidates receiving enough support from Tea Party conservatives like us? And then I look out at the audience and I ask myself, how many of these citizens have a yard sign for a Tea Party candidate? And I ask myself, how many are taking flyers door to door for a Tea Party supported candidate? How many are making phone calls, contributions, or working in their precincts for these candidates? Folks, I'm going to be very blunt. The lefties win too many elections. And the reason they win is because their side is more motivated and better organized than our side. The solution to this problem is you, and every other person at this rally. Before you leave this rally today, I want each of you to make a personal commitment to yourself and the Tea Party movement and your community and your country that you will volunteer to help elect one or more Tea Party candidates. Thank you.
Well, it's easy to be motivated when you're getting everything for free. You know, it's easy to motivate that side. Hey, you vote for us, we'll keep giving you stuff you're not working for. All right. It's time to motivate people with a little personal responsibility. Now, because of the Tea Party, this next young man has learned the great history of our nation. Today he's working hard as a youth minister to make a difference in our country and spread the word. Please welcome Politic.
That's a good shirt. Thank you. Hello, Nebraska. A couple people have been asking about the tables over here. They do accept cash, checks, or credit cards. My shirt says, "Do not spread my wealth, spread my work ethic." I work 50, 60 hours a week, and I thank God that I was able to get off to come travel with the Tea Party Express. I've started Politics Entertainment because we have to begin now fighting this destructive culture. There's a culture in America today that is lying to our children, manipulating our young men and women and telling them that they can do all these vile, wicked things and everything will be okay. But we have to do this in a different way. We have to take this information and communicate it in a different way. Let me give you a little example. We have to communicate the message of liberty and freedom in a way that people can understand, people that we're trying to reach. Liberty and freedom is not boring. We can take this to another generation, higher and further. I'm Politic. Yeah, just a little different. Men of integrity. Growing up, I never learned who was running my city. Without vision, went to prison, but I'm not asking for pity. I didn't know I had the power. I could fire officials. We can break the dependency that keeps our cities crippled. Black and Hispanic babies killed by the millions. Planned Parenthood exists to raise the death ceiling. Communities enslaved in economic change. They don't teach us liberty because it ruins their games. We're here for the people, make way for the truth. You ain't smarter than us just because you dressed in a suit. Where your actions, what you doing, show me your work. I can show you every day where the people are hurt. For the people I serve, in the name of my God, county officials better move. They ain't doing their job. This conservative tsunami is sweeping the nation. We the people, get loud, let them hear your frustration. I'm not scared to be different cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. I'm not scared to be different cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. Mr. City Council member, my district hurts, and it's clear that the last 30 years did not work. I'm not trying to be a jerk, I just can't see how things haven't changed since you held that seat. They're selling dope on my block, your leadership is missing. It's time we reevaluate your job description. You're there to represent what's best for the people. Business is dead, your apathy is lethal. We watch poverty spread, you nod your head at a pointless agenda that we're all force-fed. Millions on projects, but not the projects. These issues in the city, man, you need to address. I will not digress, the next verse gon' kill you. You say it's complicated, I just can't feel you. I meet needs in my city and I've never been elected. Not my words, my deeds are the reason I'm respected. I'm not scared to be different cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers, cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. I'm not scared to be different, cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers, cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. Let's pretend one day that I was running for office, the Senate, City Council, or U.S. Congress. I'd look around my district and see what works, instead of getting on the TV with a bunch of pretty words. I'm thinking like a leader, I'm pounding out my plan in the lines of my district. I have to understand, what schools do we have and where do they struggle? List our nonprofits and help them build their muscle. What companies would hire if we helped them to grow? Campaigns that I see are more like scripted shows. I take scripted blows at this destructive system. Find your local problems and then you fix them. Stop thinking like officials, think like a leader, and give it all you have or we won't believe you. Lead in your district and put it all in print, then go to DC and point to what you represent. I'm not scared to be different, cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers, cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. I'm not scared to be different, cause I'm a leader. Never shy away from Christ, let them know I'm a believer. Stand against deceivers, cause I'm a leader. If you're not solving problems, then we don't need you. Politics is my stage name. My passion is this country that I've learned about because of people like you, because of the Tea Party. I've learned about the indoctrination. I've learned about the political corruption. I've learned about the economic slavery. Help me help this Tea Party reach past social boundaries and make a difference. Visit my website, politic.com, and read about this cultural campaign. We can take this higher and further. The Tea Party isn't slow and we're growing. God bless America.
Awesome. Thank you. Politic, POLATIK.com. That's incredible. As you can hear, all of our performers, all of these entertainers, they're professionals. They're donating their time to travel with the Tea Party Express and perform for you today. You can thank them by stopping at the tables over here under the tents and buying one of their books or CDs. In politics, that's excellent. Our next speaker, you know who Mark Allen Lee is? I mean, we all know who the Kardashians are and Paris Hilton and all these people. Not a lot of people know the name Mark Allen Lee. First Navy SEAL killed in Iraq. His mother is here with us today. She's the author and president of America's Mighty Warriors. Please welcome, reminding us that freedom is not free, Debbie Lee.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be back here. Hopefully I won't blow away while I'm up here. But one of the things I've been blessed to do, my son, it's been almost 6 years since he died. And one of the things I've dedicated my life to is to the troops, to their families, and to the families of the fallen. As he said, I do understand freedom is not free. That's not just a slogan for our family. We have dearly paid a deep price for our freedoms. But as the Tea Party Express has traveled the country, one of the things we want to make sure that we do is make sure that you vets know you're loved, you're appreciated, that you're not forgotten. So if you have served, would you please wave your hand high and keep waving it so we can thank you for your sacrifice and your service to this country. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you back there. All of you, thank you so much. I wake up every single morning and I enjoy the freedoms I have because of each one of you. And if you would meet me afterwards at the table, I have a thank you card for you. August 2nd, 2006 was a day that forever changed my life when I received news that my son, Mark Allen Lee, had been killed in action. They were in Ramadi, Iraq, and you may remember Ramadi in 2006 was a terrible, terrible place. Mark's teammates said it was the worst piece of real estate over there, the hellhole of Iraq. There were 4 SEALs that had been fighting for 2 hours in an intense firefight. It was 115, 120 degrees that day. I live in Arizona, and sometimes I experience those temperatures, but I can't imagine doing anything extreme like that for 2 hours. Mark stood about 6 foot tall. He weighed about 200 pounds. And he carried the big gun, the M60. So he carried anywhere from 150 to 180 pounds in addition to his own weight. How you do that in 115, 120 degree temperatures for 2 hours is beyond me. Those 4 SEALs on the rooftop watched as their buddy Ryan had bullets hit his weapon and he had severe shrapnel injuries to the head. He fell to the ground. And they could tell by looking at him it didn't look good. They didn't know if he would survive the next few moments. Two of the SEALs made the choice to drop to their knees to help Ryan. This young man made the choice to stand up in the direct line of fire, hoping the enemy would see him and fire on him so the medic could sneak up to the roof. The medic got up there and he took one look at Ryan and he said, "We got to get him out of here immediately or there's no chance for survival." So not once, but a second time, Mark made that choice to stand up into the direct line of fire, to provide the cover so they could get down off of that roof. They all successfully got down off of that roof and they sent Ryan off for medical attention. They climbed in their Bradleys and headed back to the base, which was named Camp Mark Lee in his memory. We have watched our Navy SEALs do some amazing things. Just a year ago today, they captured Osama bin Laden. And they seem superhuman to us. But that was Mark's final gift to me, was his teammates. I know these men well. I know they were exhausted emotionally, physically, and as they got back to that base, they didn't know if Ryan was going to live or not. And they ripped off their gear and they started to get some water to refresh themselves. And the chief came in, said, "We just found 30 of the insurgents that just attacked us. You guys up to going back out?" Mark looked at his chief and he said, "Roger that, let's go get them." So they climbed in their Bradleys and they headed back to that godforsaken place. They cleared several houses. They went in the last house that Mark would be in. Cleared the bottom of the house and they started to go up the steps and they heard Mark yell, "On me!" And the guys knew that meant he was going to take the lead and they were to follow. And as they went up those steps, they took fire through a window. And for the last and final time, this young man made the choice to turn into that line of fire. He didn't run from that line of fire. And he did that for his buddies. He sacrificed his life so they could live. But he didn't do that just for his buddies. He did that for every one of you that are sitting here today. He did that for this country that he so loved. He did that for the freedoms that our founding fathers intended for us to have. He took off his boots, he laid down his weapon, and I picked those up, and on my watch, I will not stand by and watch them take those freedoms away from us. I have 2 letters from 2 separate presidents, one that was a real commander-in-chief, that was written the night he received a letter from me. The other that was sent 7 months after I sent Obama a letter that's stamped on the bottom. It's a form letter. He didn't even take the time to sign that letter. And so when I hear him say, a year ago today, when he told how much the capture meant and how proud he was and the gutsy choice he made, which I can tell you is a lie, he was brought in at the last minute. But to hear him say he signed that letter personally appalled me. It disgusted me to hear him lie again. And that's why we need to get that man out. He says he supports our troops. He sends his wife and Jill Biden out on a campaign to support our troops and raise awareness. And yet we watch his actions, and what does he do with his actions? He cuts the budget. He increases their health care premiums. He doesn't give them rules of engagement that let him be successful and win over there. He's jeopardizing our troops. And then he stands and he meets with the troops the other day. And he says, "I got your back." I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, all he has for our troops in the back is a knife, and I'm sick and tired of it. I won't stand by and watch this any longer, not on my watch. We need to make a difference. We can't do this alone. Those of you that are here today are probably all registered voters, so I'm probably speaking to the choir. But we need to get others to get to the polls. As Kay said earlier, we've got so many in our churches that are complacent. We owe it to this young man. He sacrificed his life for this country. We owe it to all of these who served and raised their hand today. We have got to take America back. And I want to know from you, will you say the same thing that my son said? Will you say, "Roger that, let's go get them, let's take our country back"? I miss that young man so much, but I'm so proud of the sacrifice he made for his country, and I won't stand by and watch it be stripped away from us. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you again to our troops who sacrificed and served for me. God bless America, and God bless our troops.
Debbie Lee, everyone. Right now, I'd like to bring my wife, Kay, to the stage. We'd like to do a song that my wife wrote. We'd like to dedicate it to all of our troops, and especially to Mark Lee. I want to tell you real quick about a bumper sticker I have on the back of my van, though. I think you'll appreciate it. It says very simply, if you can read this bumper sticker, thank a teacher. If you can read it in English, thank a veteran.
I believe Debbie Lee, and I know you believe we're going to see that young man again one day. And I need all you people to fight with us so that they don't take away our freedom of religion in this country. You see, I saw a flag pass by one day, and it fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I watched him in the crowd that day, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought of all the men like him who had fallen through the years, of how many had died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many had died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves, for freedom is not free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. And as the bugler played it, I felt this sudden chill. You see, I wondered just how many times those taps had meant amen, as a flag had draped the coffin of a father, brother, friend. I thought of all the children, all the mothers and the wives, all the husbands, sons, and daughters with interrupted lives. And then I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea and of an unmarked grave in Arlington, for freedom is not free.
If you wake up in the morning in a land where you are free, you should think about the ones who fought protecting liberty. You should fly a flag in honor of the price they had to pay. Yes, every day throughout this land should be Memorial Day.
Some gave all, they paid the price for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free.
If you watch your children playing in a land where freedom reigns, in a land of purple majesty above the fruited plains, you should tell them of the soldiers who had courage and were brave, who fought in wars and battles to ensure Old Glory waves.
For some gave all, they paid the price for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free.
They stood with pride and honor and fought with dignity to protect the ones who couldn't fight, and a land that we call free.
We should honor fallen heroes by flying our flags high, to salute the men and women who have fought and who have died.
For someday all they paid the price for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free. Their graves remind us freedom's not
If we humble our hearts and pray, we can do it. Thank you all very much.
You girls here, I'll go first.
I don't know if it was just me, but it's not an atmospheric condition when the wind starts blowing like that when Debbie Lee is talking about her son. That was inspirational. Thank you very much. All of our entertainers, thank you for being here. And before Lloyd Marcus comes back up here and just brings the house down, we got something to give away. We have a raffle. Now, Politic is going to have to help me out. Who's this guy? How you doing?
He's going to draw.
What's your name?
Justice?
And Jess is going to help with this. All right, so everyone signed the raffle. We just have one raffle prize, and it is a good one. This was donated this evening from Congressman Lee Terry. This flag flew over the U.S. Capitol on the 4th of July last year, and it's going to go to one of you this evening. Justice, draw a name. Not that one. All right. Going for the middle of the pile. It's a green card. And it goes to one of our speakers tonight, Mr. Doug Kagan. Congratulations. I can't think of a more patriotic guy to get this flag that flew over the U.S. Capitol. Congratulations, Doug. Thanks to everyone for being here. Thank you to our entertainers. Don't forget to check out the books and CDs over here at the tent. And visit the website as well for all these entertainers in this extraordinary movement that you have helped push across the nation. And now, one more time here, Lloyd Marcus, singer-songwriter of the American Tea Party Anthem, prolific blogger and published author, including the book Confessions of a Black Conservative. Lloyd's also chairman of the campaign to defeat Barack Obama. Welcome back, Lloyd Marcus.
Thank you, folks. As I was saying, there is so much hate going on in our country. We're not about hate. This movement is about love. Love for the greatest nation on the planet. So I'm going to sing God Bless America, and I want y'all to come on down so I can shake your hand. God bless America. Hey, team. Come on down, guys. Come on, Kay, Ron, Diane, come on. God bless America. One stage, guys. Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night. I love your hair. From above, from the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. One more time. God bless America, the greatest nation on the planet, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountain to the prairie.